Hello everybody, Jessica here. I'm here to give you some information about teaching English abroad. Last year when I lived in Brazil with my boyfriend for 5 months, I taught English at a couple different English schools, and I also gave one-on-one English tutoring classes to students whom were attending a university nearby. Upon arriving in Brazil, I visited with a few schools with my boyfriend who did help me communicate in Portuguese, since I was still learning the Portuguese language myself. I went around to different schools and handed out my resume and business cards. Fortunately, with that, I did get offered job opportunities at a couple different English schools. And just like any other teaching job, there was a lot of planning involved. However, I did learn that each student that I taught had different objectives to what they were wanting to achieve out of the classroom setting. Most students at the schools I taught at and my one-on-one sessions needed just to perfect their English language for either school or work purposes, or they just needed to be more proficient in the English language with hopes to pass the TOFEL or ELTS exam, which is an English proficiency test. The purpose of these exams is so that the student has more opportunities in the workforce outside of Brazil. All of my classes I taught were more one-on-one classes with individuals who are more advanced in that they knew the language fairly well but just needed to perfect their speaking and writing abilities in English. This also made my job a little bit more easier in that I was able to focus more on the technicalities of their speaking and writing abilities of the English language with each individual. Fortunately, having a boyfriend with the connections that he had, it certainly made it a little bit more easier to get the teaching jobs that I got. However, if you are someone who is trying to plan out an adventure like teaching English abroad, there are programs that you can look into that can land your perfect dream career as a teacher teaching abroad. You can log on to websites like goabroad.com, teachaway.com, or gooverseas.com. Once you log on to these sites, you can begin filling out your application and getting the process started. Also, if you're wanting to teach abroad in Brazil and don't know the Portuguese language, the schools will generally offer teachers opportunities to participate in programs to learn the Portuguese language a little bit better. With that in mind, I did take advantage of this opportunity to take the Portuguese language classes to learn the language better. If you are a teacher more interested in teaching the elementary, middle, and/or secondary school levels, then you must be a licensed teacher with at least 2 years of experience and have a BA/BS degree in teaching. There are many other benefits of teaching abroad that an American can have, such as have a good salary and benefits based on the teacher's experience. Most schools are required for teachers to have taken and passed the TOEFL exam. Teaching in a country like Brazil really is an amazing opportunity and experience. The Brazilian lifestyle is unlike anything you'll ever experience in America, and you are truly opened up to a new and different quality of life. There are tons of unique food, entertainment, adventures, and the Brazilian lifestyle in general you must check out. Teaching on abroad truly is an experience of a lifetime, and it's something you'll never forget or regret. However, there are things to look into before going abroad, like what shots you may or may not need, what area you'll be located in, and the safety precautions you need to be aware of. Have money stashed in your savings just in case of emergencies. Have the basic foundations of the Portuguese language. Learn how to teach English, and don't go alone, or at least have a contact near you. Brazil can be a dangerous country in some areas, which is why you have to have friends with you, or at least a few contacts of people who are familiar with the area. On the other hand, you will be rewarded greatly with being welcomed into a beautiful country full of Brazilian culture and fun. I promise, after you fill out the application, get accepted, and do the research, you are going to embark on one of the greatest journeys that you'll never forget. Going on as many adventures that you can go on and see as many different cities. And just have fun. I went to different cities with my Brazilian boyfriend when I was in Brazil, and I had the time of my life while I was teaching English overseas, and so can you.